and these were biopsies that they did 2.5 years after radiation. This is the dose that we used back when I was in training back in the 70s and 80s. And this is the dose that we use today. Back in 1985, after the radiation, about half of the people would have a positive biopsy at 2.5 years, still have residual cancer cells. Now, with modern modulated therapy and a much higher dose, this dose is about a third higher than what we gave here, over 90% would have a negative biopsy 2.5 years after the radiation. You can see this is a classic dose-response curve in our literature and considered very, very highly esteemed. Mike gets a lot of credit for this. He really took a lot of time to make sure these doses were accurate. It not only gives you higher control rates, it's also safer. This was our 3D data with rectal bleeding. About 18% of the patients with the old 3D system had rectal bleeding. I built 2 gastroenterology practices in this town with my rectal bleeding complications. One of them still sends me a ham at Christmas. With IMRT, though, they don't see nearly as many people anymore because the risk of rectal bleeding is down to about 3%. And we've actually seen that in our population as well. The risk of rectal bleeding with modulated therapy, the new technology, much, much less than with the old 3D. I never thought I'd use the word old and 3D in the same sentence, but indeed we find ourselves doing that. Well, so that's the modulated therapy. Very high-tech, very precise, very